Hello and welcome to this close let's play of Papo. This game was made by Minority Media Inc. in 2012. It's an adventure puzzle game with roughly 3 hours of gameplay. The main characters are Kiko, Lula, Monster, and Alejandra. The game is set in a favela in Brazil. The setting itself is very beautiful, with a magical realism element to it. And while poverty is an aspect of both the favela setting and of American anti-Latinx stereotypes, the favela in Papo is portrayed as a magical, beautiful wonderland to explore, which is a subversion of negative expectations of the setting. The basic plot of this game is that the main character, Kiko, who is a young boy, goes through a magic portal in his closet while hiding from his father. He then has to complete a series of puzzles while pursuing Alejandra, who informs him that he is cursed and that his father is sick and can be cured, his father being Monster. It is unusual to have an Afro-Brazilian lead, let alone an Afro-Brazilian child. Additionally, Alejandra has native Brazilian-inspired makeup through all of the game, which Kiko later has as well. Additionally, this is an abuse narrative. It's very much an accessible game that is something targeted towards children, but there is value in having these kinds of narratives especially accessible to children because it gives them a way to talk about what has happened to them. The main character is representative of the creator of this game's experiences. The metaphor, of course, is that Monster is his father, and the rages that he goes into when he eats a frog is Vander Caballero's father imbibing alcohol and becoming violent and abusive to Vander Caballero, and Monster becoming violent towards Kiko. There are several instances in this game where the game requires you to kill frogs, which can be interpreted similarly to a child pouring their parents' alcohol down the drain to prevent further violence. The finale of this game is rather unexpected. Alejandra is attempting to guide Kiko to a shaman who she promises can cure Monster of his condition. The reality of the situation is that there is in fact no shaman, and the game concludes with Kiko having to let go of his father in a sense. It's a very sad sequence despite everything that Monster has done to Kiko. Again, this is a very accessible game with not very challenging puzzles, but which has an underlying narrative about how children are ultimately not responsible for their parents' abuse or for their recovery, and do not owe their parents forgiveness. Kiko does not forgive his father really, he simply lets him go and removes him from his life. This representational gameplay is not really about Monster, but is about Kiko, and as such Caballero, having agency. This game has a very linear narrative. There's no alternative ending, there's no freedom to stray from the main storyline, and there is no making the story about something else. It's also very difficult to bug. The mechanics limit actions while holding certain objects, and the maps are largely well made and force actions to be taken in certain orders, with invisible walls preventing certain actions being taken to get off of the map or to avoid main plot lines. Any actions taken in incorrect orders with regard to the puzzles will be corrected by resetting the area automatically. So you can't really do these things wrong, and there is no game over scenario. The narrative also stops after Monster's death, which again is representative of Vander Caballero giving up on saving his father. Additionally, that means that we cannot explore further recovery from abuse from Kiko's perspective. This story ends here. We are left to imagine what Kiko's life is like back in the real world and also after letting go of his father in the future. During several sequences interspersed throughout the game, Kiko has flashbacks to his own experiences in the real world with his father, including a car accident in which his father killed someone while drunk. These types of flashbacks, while narratively convenient for the game, are also indicative of real-life conditions that individuals who are survivors of abuse experience, such as PTSD. Kiko's story is about his relationship with his father. That being said, the game does not let you forget at any point that this is a game set in Brazil. Additionally, the presence of people like Vander Caballero in the video game industry has value due to underrepresentation of individuals who are not white, cis, heterosexual men, telling stories that cater towards members of their own group. Vander Caballero asks you to step into his own shoes and live his own experiences, which may be similar experiences that others from his community have and can relate to. And there is value in seeing your own narratives represented on screen when you may not have other pieces of media to turn to. This same value is seen in games like Never Alone or Life is Strange. In all, this is a game that is beautifully made given the limitations of its development and has vast cultural and personal value. I highly recommend this game and enjoyed playing it very much. There's a link to this game on Steam in the description, as well as citations for this video essay. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again later.